This is the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons from the Daisy Chain Group, providing platforms for women entrepreneurs to be seen and heard. This platform is for women entrepreneurs that want to hear the real stories of what it takes to be yourself and run a business with all the different hats that you might have to wear. These are the stories of the tenacious, the rebellious, and the resilient women that are working towards the future that they want to build for themselves and their families. Hello and welcome to the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast and Shine You Crazy Daisy Volume 2, book out soon. This is the wonderful Suzy Ellis from Suzy Ellis Photography. Suzy, thank you so much for being a part of all of this. Please tell us about your business.
Okay. So hi, I'm Suzy from Suzy Ellis Photography. So it kind of goes with the name. I'm a photographer, and I specialise in brand photography and portrait photography in Salisbury. So I work all around Hampshire and Wiltshire doing brand and portrait photography.
Amazing. Now, what really hit me from reading your chapter is that you made a conscious decision, or you and your husband made a conscious decision to put happiness in life above career. Where does that come from, and how has that helped your business?
That's a really interesting question, actually. It really made me think when you asked that. I think from our point of view, I mean, my husband's really into philosophy, and he did a lot of reading about sort of the meaning of life, why we're here, the reason that we're on this earth. Like, we only have a really short cameo appearance in our lifetime, and if you're not going to be happy during that time, then what's the point? So there's no mean to say that you can't be happy and have a great career. It's just that we wanted to put the happiness part first. And, you know, I started off doing a lot of jobs which didn't make me very happy. And so I've kind of been working towards finding something that's going to make me happy, that I enjoy, that I can actually use as a career and build as well. So yeah, I think that's really it. You know, I'm a very happy person. We're very, very fortunate in that our families are very close knit. You know, our parents are both still married. We've got siblings who are all very happy. We're all in good positions in life. And so, you know, happiness to me is quite important. And if someone around me isn't happy, it makes me sad. So, you know, that's another part to it. I think just like trying to help other people, and that's kind of one of the reasons that I do photography as well, because I find that it helps people and it makes people happy. So yeah, that's kind of the reason.
I love the whole thought process behind it, because we as businesswomen think that what we're trying to do is find the business that's going to make us happy. Whereas if you put happiness first, what makes me happy? Oh, I'll do that as a business. It can change the way that you're able to approach anything in life. I really loved the concept when you talked about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we went through, both of us have taken steps in our business where, you know, we could have gone onto bigger and better things, but ultimately at the expense of our happiness, which we weren't willing to do. You know, I got offered a promotion at my previous job, and it would have given me, you know, great opportunities, but it would have made me miserable. And I was like, you know, I'm not going to put money above my happiness, you know. And at the end of the day, having more money, having a better, you know, better income is not going to make me happy. Money doesn't buy happiness. So
yeah, but also I think that in saying that, people are going to think, yeah, but everybody needs money, and it doesn't. That's not the sign of success. So your sign of success is whether you're happy or not. It doesn't mean you're not successful in everything that you do.
Yeah,
but I just think it's such a brilliant conversation to have, and an eye opener for people to switch their thinking. So can't wait for them to read your chapter. What do you suggest for anyone starting a business, and how did you learn those lessons?
Well, for me, it was definitely do your research before you start. Make sure that you've got the groundwork down and that you know what you're getting into. Part of my, I mean, the title of my chapter is I just wanted to take photos, or something like that, I think it is. And for me, it was like when I first started my business, that's what I wanted to do. You know, I just wanted to go out and take photos of people. But it very quickly dawned on me that actually that is a very small part of my business. And, you know, the majority of my time is spent marketing, networking, admin, at my desk, editing, you know, all of the stuff behind the scenes that people don't see. And a lot of people go into a business and don't make a success of it because they don't know how to market. They don't know how to build their business properly from the ground up. And I made a lot of those mistakes when I first started. I didn't do my research. I invested in stupid things that I shouldn't have done. And, you know, I didn't think about it properly. I didn't know anything about branding when I first started my business. You know, that's all things that I've learned. And I actually invested in a course on how to run a successful business. And it was just, you know, unbelievable how useful that was. I don't think that my business would be where it is today if I hadn't done that, because it taught me all about customer journeys and marketing and everything that you need to do from the ground up to actually build a successful business. You can't just jump in without any experience. There's a lot of knowledge that you need to have about business before you actually, you know, you can be the expert at anything, but until you learn how to run a business, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and again, brilliant conversation, because I think there's three areas. There's the business that you want to run. There is the fundamentals of running a business, like you said, with marketing and accounting and all the things that go with that. And then there's the mindset side as well, and building your community and your support network and the things that aren't tangible but are incredibly important for you to be able to feel like you're a functioning human in your business.
Yeah. And the time management side as well, because, you know, that's something that everyone struggles with.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you've got little kids at home as well.
Yes.
So on that, how are you managing the balancing act of brand photography, portrait photography, and being a mum and business owner?
I'm not. No, it is a constant battle. You know, that is the one thing probably that I struggle with most is time management and balancing, because it's really difficult. You know, my kids are now 2 and 4. My daughter's just started school, so that's cut my working day even shorter. I am very fortunate in the fact that I have 2 sets of grandparents close by to help me with childcare, which is great. However, you know, I do my best to manage my time. I have certain times of the day and the week that I work, but at the end of the day, my business is the one that takes the hit if the kids are poorly. Like today, my daughter's home. Luckily, my husband is actually around today, so he's taking them off. But like, you know, that's my day of work gone, and I have to try and fit it in around the evenings. And you know, I'd give my husband his due. You know, he will help, and you know, we've gone through COVID and things recently, and we have shared the burden a bit. But the difference between working I say an actual job, I shouldn't say that. From when I was employed and I had to go to work every day, people took that a lot more seriously. So if I had to go to work, I had to go to work. You know, I couldn't look after the children. I couldn't be flexible, you know, whereas everyone kind of expects that of you now that you're self-employed, that you can be more flexible, you can do things, you can, you know, just leave that day of work and do something else. And it's like, actually, I can't, you know, I still have a business to run. I still have an income that I need to provide. So yeah, for me, really, the things that help are time management, like actually planning my day out. If I sit down at my desk and know what I want to get done, that's really, really helpful. If I sit down and don't have a plan, I just, you know, procrastinate.
Procrastinate.
Yeah,
that's going in a dictionary. I love it.
But yeah, it's difficult. It's never going to be easy if you've got young kids and you're trying to run a business. But on the other side to that, I found with my portrait photography especially, networking actually comes really naturally, because I am networking with mums at school and in playgroups and, you know, just around town. Everybody's beginning to know who I am just through having my children. So if your business is actually built around the fact that you are a parent, it's actually sometimes quite good to network that way, and you can use it to your advantage.
I think as well, it's learning yourself realize that the balancing act, and when people talk about work-life balance, it's going to tip either way at some point. And it's giving yourself a break. I think that's a lot on anybody's shoulders for brand photography, portrait photography, mum, business owner, everything else that is in any human's life.
Yeah.
So it is it's interesting when you talk about where the balance is. It's not there, and it's fine. It's what it is, and you get on.
At the end of the day, the kids will always come first. You know, they have to. And everyone had, like, I think as for me, I've made my children part of my brand. Like, I am a working mum, and that is a big part of who I am. So when I work with clients, they generally understand that occasionally things will happen and I might have to rearrange or reschedule, or I might have my child running around behind me in a meeting, or, you know, these things happen, and that's part of who I am, and that is part of my life at the moment. So, you know, my house is a mess. You know, my life is upside down, but I do take my business seriously. On the other side of that, you know, I generally have a plan in place so that if something happens, you know, it will get dealt with. But yeah, it's just learning that it's going to be difficult, you know, but having that, making your clients aware of the fact that you do have children can sometimes be really helpful. So that you know, these things do come up, and if you don't have to have your children as part of your brand, you don't have to have them plastered all over social media or anything, but just letting people know that you are a working mom can sometimes ease that burden a little bit, because people are quite understanding of the fact that things happen.
What is one lesson that you've learned that you would want every entrepreneur to know?
Invest wisely.
Yes.
I made a really bad investment when I first started my business, and you know, when you first start up, you have limited money flow. Obviously, just do your research. Basically, like, I invested in my website, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I didn't really know where I wanted to go, and I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't ask people for recommendations. I didn't research it properly, and I ended up spending a lot of money on something that ultimately just didn't work. And I went through sort of a year and a half of starting my business with this really frustrating website that was doing absolutely nothing for me, which I'd spent a lot of money on. And I was just thinking, you know, oh, if I only I could have that money back, I could invest it so much more wisely and actually build something from it. And so yeah, I think just do your research. Like, if you're going to invest in something, make sure that you're going to get the return on it, make sure that it's going to be beneficial to you, and make sure that you're working with the right person as well, because you can have somebody that's really great at what they do, but if you don't click, then it's not going to work. So that would be my advice.
Brilliant. And what's your favorite piece of business software?
Well, the one that I can't live without really as a photographer is Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom. They're the ones that I use day to day. Obviously, like my phone, my emails, you know, and my CRM system kind of are all part of that as well. But Photoshop ultimately is part of my business package. So it's what I need to do what I do. It's a monster to learn. I self-taught myself how to use Photoshop, which took years and years and years. So yeah, it's a beast, but it's very, very clever.
Suzy, thank you so much. There's some really amazing subjects coming up in that, and they're covered more in the book as well, in your chapter. So thank you so much for being a part of this whole thing, and I can't wait to get this out to people. Thanks, Suzy.
Thank you very much, Trudy. Lovely to speak to you.
Thank you so much for watching the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast. If you've liked what you've seen today, then please make sure that you click the subscribe button to this channel to see more inspiration and motivation as more of these stories keep coming out. And if you want even more, click on the link below this video and go and have a look at the series of books Shine On You Crazy Daisy and get even more inspiration and motivation for you and your business.